Now, for a reaction to the volatile situation in Iran, we're joined by Homa Arjomand. She is the spokesperson for the International Campaign for Defense of Women's Rights in Iran, as well as the coordinator of the International Campaign Against Sharia Law. Very much for joining us. Your reaction to what you're seeing on the streets in many cities, or at least one city in Iran.
Yeah, I was expecting that. Actually, I was expecting that a long time ago. I knew people are using this between leaders of Islam and coming out in order to vote, and I knew that they're going to take this oppositions out in the street. I knew they're going to fight it. They're going to fight the Islamic regime of Iran. They're chanting already with dictator. They're chanting down with the Islamic regime of Iran. This is a regime of anti-woman, anti-socialism, anti-freedom, and you name it. It's a regime of mass execution. It's a regime of torture. It's a regime of stoning to death. So this is the regime people they really don't want. They don't want the entire regime. Doesn't matter who is going to be the president.
Now, we can see in a lot of these pictures people taking stones to riot police on the streets along with them. How long do you think this street scene is going to last before the government perhaps does something?
To me, it will last. It will continue up to bring down the regime of Iran. Sooner or later, that would happen, and we can see how they're speaking up. They're speaking up. They're not violent. They're speaking out. Their rights have been violated for 30 years. Now it's their turn to speak up, and they know these police are actually not the police to guard the safe, to protect their safety. They know these police are there to hurt them, to arrest them, to torture them, to execute them. That's why they're throwing the stone at them.
Did you vote in this election?
Of course not. Of course not.
Do you think it was fair?
Of course not. You could see. I mean, to me, it doesn't matter, and so as to people of Iran, doesn't matter who was there. They don't believe in reformists, the notion of reformists and hardliner. They believe these are all the leaders of Islam. They are all in mass execution. They are all for putting this compulsory hijab on women. They are all for freedom. So people know about this, and of course of them too.
Now, we've seen this government have a very, I guess, cemented position when it comes to its nuclear program. How do you think the West is going to react to 4 more years at least of Ahmadinejad?
To be honest, is giving too much room to Ahmadinejad and Islamic regime of Iran. The West is protecting them, and we people in Iran are against that too. We believe West has to be very serious and do something about it. Late, all the leaders of political Islam would be tried in international court for their crime against humanity, and West has not done anything about it. In fact, the media has not covered much about their anti-human activity.
As we mentioned at the beginning of this, you've worked on behalf of women's rights in Iran. What is this victory for Mr. Ahmadinejad going to do for women's rights in that country?
This is not a victory. People would not let him breathe at all. I mean, to women in Iran, the first step for their social achievement is to take or lift away this compulsory hijab. And of course, this would never happen in an Islamic regime of Iran. So therefore, it's not a victory for women's rights at all.
Arjomand, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.